Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Italy, and welcome to Genoa. So yeah, we're back in Genoa. We've got some very interesting yachts in the Marina today we're going to take a look at. Not to mention this one here, that is not a warship, if that's what you're thinking. That is a very well-known super yacht with a name that elicits more comments about its name than any other yacht, I think, that I've ever featured on the channel. We're going to look at another boat that's in here today, which looks like it was built in the 1930s, but it's not. Everything is not as seems, but it's got a very interesting story. So we're going to take a look at that too. So let's do that. Now, this boat behind me here, this looks like a throwback from, the 1940s or something like this. It's got those classic lines. It has the old style stern of the vessel. Most yachts now, they have a squared off stern with a swim platform, which is like permanently fitted in. This has got the old style shape and flow. It's got the old funnel up here, and you might be mistaken for thinking that this is an old ship that's been taken and rebuilt and made into a super yacht, but it's not. It was actually built in 2020, unbelievably. Obviously, whoever commissioned this yacht has a love of old style yachts, but wants the modernity of a new vessel, right, with all mod cons. This has got hybrid propulsion. It has a single screw which is powered by two electric motors that is connected to a gearbox, and those motors are powered by two generators. So yeah, very interesting design. It also has an ice class hull. So yeah, this vessel has an ice class 1B hull. Now there are specifications, or there are certain levels of ice class build. Ice class 1 super means that the vessel can move around in ice without an icebreaker, and then you've got ice classes 1A, 1B, 1C, and they all require, they can move around in loose ice, but they require an icebreaker if it's any thick ice or any fixed ice. And this is a 1B, so it's got a strengthened hull. There are other changes to it, such as the sea chest may have to be rearranged. The sea chest is where a vessel intakes water for things like for making drinking water and for cooling of the engines and stuff like that. So the sea chest sometimes has to be rearranged depending on the type of vessel. Now, what's interesting about this is, like I said, that this old funnel up here, that's very interesting to me, because obviously you don't need a funnel like this anymore on a ship. It's big, it takes up a lot of space, but what I can see is that there's a ladder on the side, and there's also some venting there. So there's probably they've probably got some vents in there for the air conditioning or the engine cooling. For instance, on our other vessels, they take an old funnel like this and they remake it out of like a carbon ceramic type thing, and then they put things in there like satellite domes and stuff like that. But I think this is actually a working funnel. A couple of stats: 56-meter yacht, which is about 184 feet. Now, this yacht has a top speed of only 12 knots and a cruising speed of 10 knots, which is really quite slow. I don't know why. I mean, the yacht is old looking, modern designed. Now, ships of this type back in the day would do much faster than 12 knots. I don't know why it's so slow. Obviously, it's not a problem for the owner, but it is a stunning looking vessel. I think if I was in a position to be buying a yacht, I think if I couldn't buy an old ship to convert, this would probably be something that I would look at, for this build type, to a classic style. Now, this was built by Turkish Yachts in Turkey, and it is a charter yacht. You can charter this vessel in the Mediterranean for 336,000 euros per week in the low season, and 357,000 euros per week in the high season. All right, so let's move on. We'll go and take a look at this yacht here. no introductions needed if you're a long-time viewer of the channel. This boat has been featured numerous times. As you can see, this is Motor Yacht Sat, or Motor Yacht Skat, as the case may be. Usually they've obviously removed the letter. It's from Town in Cayman Islands, Georgetown obviously. They've obviously removed those to probably repair, possibly leaking. Sometimes you get water ingress in the LEDs and they fail, and they probably remove them to be either fixed on board, most likely sent off to a company to repair them. If it's lights, that is. Could be electrics, but yeah, most likely I'm going to go with LED lights. I've done this many times myself because they're obviously backlit, so in the evening when they light up, but in this case they've probably removed them for that reason. But I've talked about and shown this yacht many times over the years on the channel. I even told a story about how the captain tried to force me to delete footage from my drone in the Bahamas a few years ago. And this boat was built by Lursen, as you can see. It was built for a chap called Charles Simonyi, who's a Hungarian American who used to work for Microsoft, and he brought us Microsoft Excel. So the guy who built this yacht, he was responsible for Excel, or his team was at Microsoft, and that's who bought it. The boat is no longer owned by Charles Simonyi. He sold it a couple of years ago. He built a new boat, a bigger boat, and that boat looks very similar to this one. It's got a different style hull. I'll show you some pictures, but it is effectively the same colour, built by Lursen, and it's just a bigger version of this, and that's called Norn, the new yacht. Now, as I've said before, this vessel elicits more comments about its name than any other vessel on the channel. Skat means dear, or it means it's a term of endearment in Danish. I believe it might be the same word for Norwegian as well, which is interesting, which is probably the reason why the new owner never changed the name, because the new owner is Norwegian. Now, the new owner's name, for me, is impossible to say, so I'm going to put it on the screen. He is the person who's currently building the yacht slash research vessel, Rev Ocean, and that vessel has been delayed for years. So it's not ready till next, I believe 2026 is not due for delivery, assuming that there's no more problems. They just have to cut it in half and add a section and remove a deck. So it's there's a long way from being ready. So we bought this yacht in the meantime. Now, whether he's going to keep this yacht when that other one's finished, probably not. But that's who the owner of this boat is, and that probably explains why he didn't change the name from Skat. Now, Simonyi's new yacht, Norn, is larger than this vessel. This is a 71 meter vessel, and the new vessel is a 90 meter. Now, you might think that that's not that much bigger to build another yacht that's only 20 meters bigger, but the volume of the yacht, this yacht's about 2,000 gross tons. The volume of Norn, the new vessel, is almost double. It's 3,600 gross tons. What does that mean? It means that the interior of the yacht is much larger. There's much more space on the interior of the new vessel, and that's why he built the new one and got rid of this one. This was built in 2002. His new boat was built like 2 years ago. What can we say about this yacht? It's got a very military-esque or utilitarian look to it, until you get up close and you see that it has a fairing over the metal. So a warship would never have such a smooth finish. It would have, you would just see the metal of the hull and the welds in it and stuff like that, but you can't see that on this because obviously it's finished to a very high standard. So from a distance it looks like a warship, but from close up it looks like a yacht. What we can see, interestingly, we've got a bridge wing here, and it's just basically a platform for the captain to stand on, just to look, just to give him that extra bit of sightings down the side of the vessel when he's docking. Obviously he's got no controls there, so he just steps out to have a quick look, and then steps back in to use his controls, which I assume are inside. I think I can see the control box just inside there, which is covered right now, they would lift that off when they were docking. And then this rail here that you can see, the rail that's running all the way along, and you can see some things at the end there. That is for the crew to attach to when they want to clean, and then they can come out and go all the way along and clean the side of the boat and the windows and stuff like that. This is another boat that could be mistaken for a military vessel in the right circumstances. I think Skat, it definitely looks more like a military vessel, even when you're standing right next to it. But this one, I think this one could be, if you saw it at sea, because it's got that profile and it's a very fast-looking ship. You can't really see Skat down there right now, but Skat looks like a military vessel even when you stood right next to it. I was stood here filming. A chap asked me how they get the boats into the water. If you see this thing here, this is a crane. Probably can't see, but if I zoom in, you can probably see the shackle at the end there. So what they do is they use this, they operate it, move it up, hook it onto the boat, lower the boat into the water, and then the crew will unhook it from the crane or the davit or whatever. This is another interesting boat here, SilverWind. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I have featured this on the channel before. I actually did a tour. If you want to see an interior tour of this yacht, I'll put a link in the top corner. For a lovely boat inside. It's a charter yacht, and we interviewed the captain at the time, and also we spoke to the captain about the charter prices, what it means. At the end of the video, the captain explains what a charter price is and what it includes and what it doesn't include. So very interesting video. All right guys, I'm going to leave it here. Hope you enjoyed this little look around Molo Vecchio Marina in Genoa. Let me know in the comments which boat you would have. Would you have SilverWind? Would you have Skat? Would you have Blue 2? Or maybe Ronan? And if you had Skat, would you leave the name or would you change the name? I can already see all the comments about the name of that boat. All right guys, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So from Genoa, I'll bid you goodbye.